Thank you, Naz, and we love Laura Toby. Journalist and broadcaster Emma Wolfe and author James Bloodworth back for a final look through this morning's papers. James, Mirror. Not sure what page. Is it the front page?
Front page.
A collapse in the nursing recruitment process is risking the future of the NHS and will put patients in danger, Pat Cullen has told everybody.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that has been an issue for some time. So Matthew Taylor, who's I can't remember his job title, but he's involved with the NHS, at the top of the NHS. He said there's a big problem with workforce planning, and one of those issues is nursing. So 1 in 5 nursing roles are unfilled, and this means that the NHS then has to spend lots of money on agency staff, which costs a lot more than just paying the nurses in the first place. And one of the reasons for this is student numbers. So less people are going into nursing as students because the cost of bursaries and tuition fees, and also real terms nurses' pay has gone down by 8% since 2010.
Well, you think right now, if you were choosing your training options, nursing doesn't look hugely attractive. We've got the nursing strikes now resolved for now, but they're saying the conditions are pretty miserable. We work really long hours and we don't feel very well appreciated.
No, we have a huge problem with recruitment across the NHS. 120,000 unfilled jobs across nurses and doctors across the medical profession. And obviously we're really reliant on foreign workers. We know that 1 in 5 NHS jobs is filled by foreign workers, which has been up and down over recent years. But you're right, it's long-term planning. It's, encouraging young people many of whom are sitting on benefits or not able to find work at the moment, encouraging them to go into a profession, maybe cutting their student fees, things like that, really encouraging them to go in, and also increasing salaries.
We were talking the other day about the junior doctors, and I said that, they were always saying to us that the issue is being left with this loan. I mean, I know it's unpopular, but aren't we better? We were talking earlier about that money that was misspent, could be spent on the Home Office. Shouldn't we be spending this money instead of... Hear me out a sec. On encouraging people who are long-term unemployed, not who are disabled or mentally ill, but there is hundreds of thousands of people, are we not better saying as a society, we're going to spend that money retraining you, giving you a reason to get out of bed, giving you a reason to give something back to your society? That's the frustration for so many people. You just said to me that 1 in 5 workers in the NHS are foreign. There's nothing... I'm not against that at all. But why are we not saying to the people of this country, for all the reasons that would work, financially, emotionally, morally, mentally... Let's do it with you. Why is that not possible?
And what is wrong with having British workers in our British health service?
But I'm not even calling them British. I'm saying if you say to me there's a million people not working, why don't we as a society spend the money we're spending on agencies on training these people and giving them a chance?
Because, Jeremy, that takes long-term planning. That takes a government who will think long-term.
Yeah. Somebody needs to.
7 years to train up a doctor properly. And we just keep saying this for decades.
We need to actually value the people who do these jobs. It's the same with social care. We say the social care system is a mess, but then you look at how people are treated, and the people who work in social care are treated like glorified cleaners. Yeah. If you treat people like that, you're not going to attract people to work there, basically.
Shall we move on to the story that was sort of breaking late last night? We spoke to an eyewitness earlier at the top of this programme. It's awful, but it's also not surprising. Emma, this is the mass shooting at the Super Bowl victory parade.
Yeah.
The eyewitness we spoke to was there with his 9-year-old daughter. He knows the woman who's been killed. And the suspects, what we're hearing from the police is they sort of disguise themselves as fans and then open fire.
Yeah, it's absolutely tragic. This is obviously following the Vegas the Super Bowl on Sunday. Kansas City Chiefs were victorious, so they were having their sort of victory parade. They were at their stadium. This is in the Missouri state capitol. And as you say, 1 fan was killed, 9 have been left badly injured. Absolutely tragic, and it sounds like it was pretty...
Seriously, the 9, there could be more.
Yeah, exactly. There could be more fatalities from this.
And then it begs that whole question, doesn't it? Every time we talk about it, gun crime in America, to me it's senseless, but the amendments and the way that they have their laws out there, it becomes almost, Joe, and both of you really, something that you think, oh, well, there's this. How many has it been? It's appalling.
Yeah, there just seems... You see every time this happens. I mean, do we know what the motivation was yet for this?
At this stage,
no. No, I mean, you see the kind of thoughts and prayers online, but then I mean, maybe this is a European perspective. I think you need is a change in the law, but it doesn't seem like there's enough appetite.
Let me tell you something. You will never, ever in America. Joe Biden didn't make it a part of his saying now they should be. You will not be able to get rid of guns. There are more guns in America than there are people. That amendment, you know, you should protect yourself, was made such a long time ago. And they will say, won't they, yeah, but these nutters, that's what they say in America, they can get guns anywhere. But for a 13-year-old to be able to walk into a downtown store and buy a gun, to me is I mean, I've told the story, being out there, walking into a television station, it said, please leave your assault weapon or handgun at reception. I was like, what? Different world.
Yeah,
but scary
absolutely.
when you see these things.
America feels very different from Europe in that sense when you go there.
James, should we look in the sun? Jeremy was talking about this earlier. That's Adele of a price. Just shy of £1,000 to see Adele in a gig in Germany. I mean, that is... Would you pay that much?
No,
she is brilliant, but that's expensive.
I don't think I'd pay this to see any act. And this isn't... I mean, we often hear stories about the secondary ticket market, like ticket types selling tickets at exorbitant prices, but this is direct sales. This is the first,
This isn't to get to Germany. This is the ticket. Can I just ask this? This is to see. This isn't to get a coach or a plane or something to Germany. It's just the ticket.
Yeah, it's not a package or a hotel.
I mean, tickets across the board have gone up for live music because, I mean, not necessarily Adele, but musicians generally don't make so much money from the sales of the music nowadays, so they have to make it on tour. And obviously, there's no sympathy here for someone like Adele because she's already obviously very rich. But that is something that's been happening. Ticket prices have just gone up to see concerts because that's where touring acts make the money nowadays, and all their hangers on as well.
Isn't it? Ultimately, like she'll sell out at charging tickets that price.
No, I'm with James on this. I don't think, even for Leonard Cohen, who is now dead and is my absolute hero, and I paid a lot to see him when he was alive, Leonard Cohen. I think paying up to £1,000 for one ticket.
But I think Rosie, with respect, is absolutely right, Emma. There will always be people who will find that
money. They will, absolutely.
The
same for sporting event, big sporting events.
But then, in effect, that will then justify the price tag.
How much were tickets for the Super Bowl? They were thousands, you know? I mean, people will pay that much for the live experience. It is an amazing experience. And if it's your favourite singer, it's like nothing else.
I'm surprised with her because she's good, she is. She's a nice, down-to-earth girl. And I would suspect that I'm not saying she wouldn't know about it, but I don't think that will go down too well in the court of Adele. I'd like to think that she's a down-to-earth girl, right? And that's not. I don't think that would sit with her, but we'll see.
Yeah, you don't know how much they can actually, the actual singer themselves or the performer can actually do much about it because it's not them setting the prices, is it? It's their promoters.
And we've heard lots about how even when it's secondary, when it's touts selling them, often the agencies that have the first lot of tickets are also in control.
Yeah. They own the secondary marketplace as well. That's the real scandal, I think.
Yeah, and then people
I'd round them up at sporting. I think they're outrageous ticket touts.
Stoke. In the Mail. Is New York really the city that never sleeps? No, it's Stoke.
Sleepless in Stoke.
Emma, tell us more.
Well, apparently in Stoke, this is where the worst sleepers are. 9 in 10 residents in the Staffordshire city of Stoke are failing to get a good night's sleep.
I'm surprised at the wind.
But on average, in the UK, Brits are not getting much sleep. I mean, we're getting a lot less, but the NHS recommends 8 hours a night.
Victoria Kyle's not getting any at the moment. Feeding every hour, it seems. Stoke-on-Trent.
So Stoke-on-Trent is the most sleepless, but most Brits are not getting enough, actually. They're getting around 6 hours. I think 6 hours sleep sounds wonderful.
No. Right, so I know this because I've done this all my life, right?
Yeah.
It is 4-hour blocks, people, trust me.
I think so.
It is 4.
And it's
6
quality
is the
rather
worst
than
thing you can do. 4 or 8. 6 is a disaster.
Why? Why would 6?
Doesn't work. They've proven this. It is 4-hour blocks.
I don't sleep
I've
for
lived
4
off
hours
4
in a
hours
block.
for
No
35
way.
years.
What, just 4?
Yes, and 20 minutes in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Whenever I worked. Genuinely.
The worst thing that happens, I got one of those, a watch that tracks your sleep.
No, that's
it's really
terrible.
miserable.
Rosie.
Because you wake up in the morning and it says sleep was poor, and they can give you more information about why. And I was like, I don't really want to know this.
No,
that's a disaster.
It is, especially
my sleep was rubbish, my watch says.
Great.
Jay, a study suggests that firm daily routines are linked to children having better developed brains. That's called routine. Absolutely, of course it's true,
really
right?
Important.
Yeah.
Strict parenting and strict routines.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of common sense, but it is useful to see it laid out. I mean, routines in everything almost. So, like, routines in the amount of sleep you're getting. And I also think, one thing came out of this study was parents on lower incomes, their hours are often more irregular in work. So you have things like 0 hours contracts, which then impacts the child's life because it throws there's no structured routine and it's all over the place. So it's like regular meal times, just a kind of settled family life where you do things roughly the same time and stuff. It is actually very helpful for children, and I can relate to that as a kid myself. I stayed a lot with my grandmother, and she was very routine-based, as a lot of older people are. And I find that really, really helpful as a child.
Yeah,
you know what to expect. You have certainty, security.
Yeah, exactly. It's not only physically, it's good for you to have regular, healthy meals and a lot of sleep. Children need
everything.
But
Food,
it's
sleep,
also,
discipline.
Yeah.
Kids absolutely
and children need a lot.
Drink. Organisation.
They do, but it's also good emotionally to know your boundaries, to feel, like you say, to not live. Often children come from a chaotic life, sort of household, and that's very, very unsettling for children. But having boundaries and being strict, I'm a very strict mummy, and I know that children need to know where, what is over the line, what is the boundary. It's not it's not kind to let children do whatever they want. It's actually kinder to say no.
And that's a really interesting point, because it's very easy to get in and I am the worst, by the way. Victoria's far better. I'm as soft as, but it's ridiculous.
And dads can be, I think.
No, but I am. But she's right. Food, sleep, a bath, never late to school, polished shoes, tidy. All of those things, people go, oh, lower income. But you can wash your kids' clothes, you can iron your kids' clothes, you can have them sit down for some sort of meal at a regular time.
Yeah,
so
and
they know all those things.
I know so many parents who say, oh, my kid just I have a 3-year-old, my toddler just drifts around until about 9 or 10 at night.
No
way.
Bed at 7.
They become
Story
so
at
tired.
6:30.
They don't know what's going on. They become so tired and, looking at tablets and things.
I never compliment my wife. She has read Oliver a story every single night, 3 stories for 4 years. The kid, and I'm not just saying this, is ahead in his class and focused and likes books. That does not cost money. That is time.
But also, Jeremy, that tells him that it's nearly bedtime. Oliver will know when he's had his 3 stories or whatever, he will be then ready to sleep and go to bed.
But you're saying...
parents need routine as well, which sometimes comes from the job market.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
My household, we had quite strict rules about food. Chocolate spread was absolutely not allowed.
Is this now, or is this...
Growing up, and it was quite a chaotic household. I've got 3 younger sisters, so it was busy. Chocolate spread, though, according to Nigella, and the papers have enjoyed sort of looking at this post-Pancake Day. In the Times too today, Nigella is right, Nutella is vulgar.
Although, can I just say, OK, so this is a big piece in the Times, a really funny piece, all about which foods are vulgar and what's vulgar. Buying cheap sushi is apparently vulgar. Salad cream is apparently vulgar. All these things, these funny things. Don't make foam. Don't make jus. Just make a gravy and have done with it. That kind of thing. Don't call a pancake a crepe. Don't own a copper crepe pan. Don't have...
Personalised cupcakes.
Apparently they're
vulgar.
Lots of these things are vulgar, but...
Flavoured hummus is vulgar.
It is. Lots of things are vulgar. But Nigella says Nutella is vulgar, which I think it is a bit vulgar. Flavoured hummus, as you say. But she often does her spaghetti mixed with Marmite, which I've never tried, but
This isn't the thing. This is all part of her brand about being a posh bitch, isn't it? Come on. I mean, what is this? Piping anything as a cake? I mean, shut up. I mean, really?
It is
People
a bit...
like to do things their own way.
Piping things...
Are you in agreement with her?
No, I just disagree that Nutella is vulgar. For me, it's kind of a real treat.
Yeah, but that's because because you weren't allowed it as a child.
you're
You did say the other day that your pancakes were loaded with Nutella. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's a time and a place for Nutella. I think on a crepe or on a pancake, it's
the
nice.
bedroom.
But I've always thought people with chocolate sauce.
Definitely not.
Good one, JB.
That would be
straight in there.
Are there any foods, James, that you think are vulgar?
I mean, I don't get the sushi thing. I think there's a huge difference. Like, cheap sushi is disgusting, but good sushi is... I mean, what's wrong with that?
But they're saying don't buy cheap raw fish. Like, if you're going to get sushi, get decent.
No, I think
sushi's great.
I think that's fair enough. Fake vegan meals, like your fake sausage rolls that you tried the other day.
I loved it, man. I loved that fake sausage roll.
Yeah, but why not just have a meat one? And I'm, vegan, so I wouldn't have, I mean, what is all this fake vegan sausages? Vegans
I didn't feel
want
bloated.
fake sausages.
I was really concerned about the fact after that. I went home and thought, oh, God, I'm going to become one of them.
Chateaubriand. Don't call it Chateaubriand. Just call it a beef fillet, which I think is...
Yeah, with pate around the side, or something like that. Beef Wellington.
What's wrong with flavoured hummus?
I like the red pepper hummus far more than plain hummus.
Vulgar.
Well,
it's
that's vulgar,
vulgar.
apparently.
Is it? I am vulgar.
Thank you.
Rosé in winter is vulgar.
Oh, right. There's too many rules.
I know.
Emma, James, thank you both so much. It's been a pleasure this morning.
Thank you so much. Now,